Well, Richard Childress is one of the most successful car owners in Winston Cup history. He has 5 wins here at this facility as a car owner. But of course, he began his racing career as a race driver. Here's a closer look at Richard Childress, driver and owner.
He's a winner. He was a winner before he ever won the first race.
To me, he just seems like another guy on the team.
It's a strange relationship that we have here. He's our boss, but he's probably closer in the friend category than he would be a boss.
Richard's instilled in us, I think, a lot of qualities that he has is that he doesn't quit.
Every man working here is a winner, and they like to be surrounded with winners. I've done every job in this shop, from driving the truck to sweeping the floors to driving the race car. And when these guys have a problem or things don't go right, or if you have any kind of failures, I've did the same job and I've had failures, and I can understand.
The 1980s have seen Richard Childress become one of the most successful car owners in Winston Cup racing history. What most people do not know is that his dream almost came to an end even before it got started.
We went to Daytona to do some testing in 1980, and he had run around there, and his last lap, he did real well with the car, and I'd been driving it some, and Darrell had drove it some. All of us had driven it that day, and he made his last run, and he lost the car coming off of turn 4 and flipped it down through there and got it up on top of the wall, and just one of the scariest wrecks you'd ever see, and it just about busted me.
After that nightmare, Childress made a decision that would change the course of his career and life. And with advice from his mentor, he hired the driver that would become the nucleus of his success.
They had talked to me about running Dale we were at Talladega in 1981, and I'd ran 20 races, and when they had talked to me about it, Junior was the first person I went to talk to get his advice, what I should do. And I made him over to the motel room that evening, and we talked on it, and he told me then, he said, there's a more need for good car owners right now than there were for race drivers, and he said, you've got an opportunity now. He said, you just need to take it and make it work.
With championship seasons, a profitable business, and a loving family, life has smiled on Richard Childress, but he still has a few regrets.
I've always said if there was 2 things in my life that I would change, one of them would be that when my daughter was coming up, I would have spent more time at home with her, or spent more time with her. You know, we're real close now, and we always have been, but I just didn't have the time to spend with her then. And the other I would serve my country for 4 years. Never really felt at any point, and I still don't, that we've got everything under control as a car owner. You know, we've been successful, and but, you know, I just want to keep racing and never try to figure, well, we made it. You know, I'd just rather keep racing and doing our best and trying to win races and trying to win those championships, and never stop and say, well, you made it now. I think if I ever stopped and took time to say that I made it, I don't know what would happen. I just never did that.
Well, Dale Earnhardt, you know, Richard Childress has meant so much to you in your career, but it's a relationship, he said, when he hired you, when he made that decision at Talladega to bring you on board, that made all the difference in the world.
Well, it's been a great association. You know, we've really been fortunate to, you know, have good sponsors and have good people working with Richard. Richard's a good car owner and, you know, team manager. He does a great job. But we got some things in common. We work well together, and, you know, we enjoy life pretty much like each other do. And, you know, we're working to try to get ahead all the time. We don't think we ever got it made. You might win championships, win races, but you still got to work hard for tomorrow. You know, you don't know what might happen. So, you know, it's good to be with him. I know he's going to be in racing. I know he's not going to be, you know, here today and gone tomorrow. So, you know, I hope we can stay together for several more years as long as I'm able to drive.
You know, Dale, very philosophic. You had the accident here today at Bristol, and the car was damaged heavily, and the crew worked so hard. But when you went back on the track, I saw them smiling in the pits, and one of them told me, said, "You know why we're smiling?" I said, "No." He said, "Because Dale said, hey, don't worry about it, guys. I guess it's just not our day." So pretty philosophic. I guess you just got to consider that some days are good and some days are like this day at Bristol.
Well, there's no use in adding to the wound once you have a problem. Is just stay ill about it. We try to make light of the subject and talk about the car, and try to get it the best and just sort of survive the rest of the day. And I was joking about needing a hot dog, and turn the radio on, put MRN on for me so I know what's going on. So, we pick and kid back and forth a little bit to get the pressure off, and the guys are doing a good job. It's fortunate and unfortunate that we had the problem, but that's racing.
You've had a pretty good seat for all this fender banging and contact out there. You've had probably the best seat in the house. You think it's a little bit just a frustration for the first 4 events where everybody had to tiptoe and sort of be careful? Maybe they're just sort of letting loose here at Bristol?
No, it's a little bit frustrating to have pit rules or track rules. The pit rules are fine. They've, got everybody under control on pit road, and everybody's doing a good job. The double file restarts, odd and even, it's given advantage to the guys in third or fourth if they're odd or even or whatever. It doesn't work out well. So it's been a little bit frustrating in that way, but who knows? We'll work with it and see what we can come up with.
Any weather predictions?
I wish they'd call it off. I'm ready to go home.
It has been a long day already for Dale Earnhardt, the 4-time Winston Cup champion. Gentlemen.